Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Seth Askelson. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Wednesday night here on Gaucho's live stream for Glendale Gauchos Volleyball. Glendale all of a sudden finds themselves at 7-5 in a tie for second place with their opponent tonight, the Mesa Community College Thunderbirds. Scottsdale occupies solely first place in the Division II Region 1 standings. Scottsdale's played 12 games. They have an 8-4 record. GCC and Mesa also played 12 at 7 and 5 apiece. So the winner will take at least sole possession of second place. And if Scottsdale ends up losing tonight, a tie for first place. Rounding out fourth place is South Mountain, who, after defeating Glendale Community College and taking sole possession of first place, has lost 5 out of the last 7 conference games. They're at 6-6. But they hold a comfortable 1.5 game lead over Phoenix College. So Glendale for sure in the tournament, and this might be a matchup of the first match. If neither of these teams finds a way to gain home court advantage, like I said, Scottsdale hosting, at least as of now, they would be hosting the tournament. And talking to head coach Lisa Stuck, she is not all that concerned with having home court advantage. It would be nice to play at home, but it's not like they have to get on a bus ride and drive 2 or 3 hours each way every day. It's, when you really think about it, the max 30-minute drive, and they get to sleep in their own beds at the end of the day. And so it would be nice to have that, but it's not a necessity, according to Coach Stuck. What matters to her is her team picks up wins. Scottsdale, by the way, is at Pima Community College tonight. That game is scheduled to start right about the time as this one, so we are underway, and Mesa is going to get the first serve, and it gets over the net to the GCC side. Now it's set up for La Liberty, who swings it too far, and the first point goes to Mesa. So serving for Mesa is Katie Schoenwetter, the 5'6" freshman out of Gilbert, Arizona, and Highland High School. Highland High School is the alma mater of Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick. And so some good athletes coming out of Highland, and we're going to see Schoenwetter how good she is tonight as now the ball gets over to the GCC side, and some bad defense. It was a hole in the back corner, and Montoya had pushed up, I think, to help on the block, at least behind the block, and pick up any loose pieces, but it got tipped over the block and over her head, and Valdez wasn't fast enough. And so it's 2-0 early. Now Valdez controls that serve, gets it over to Kylie Smith, who gets it over there to Tregaboff. And it goes off the top of the block. And everybody's standing around, not exactly sure what to do with that ball. They let it fall, they being Mesa. And now we're at 2-1. So 2 in a row for Glendale, exactly what they needed to break a bad 5-game losing streak. And because they've won those 2, they put themselves in position to maybe host. Now a swing towards the back end, and Valdez has to dive up after it. And she can't keep it alive, and so now it's 3-1. So it seems that back row is being picked on early here, and Valdez has been the early victim. And so now here's the serve from right to left by Mason. It's going to be Montoya who handles it this time, gets it to Kylie Smith, who gets it to La Liberty. And the swing doesn't get down, but it comes right back over to GCC's side. And now Kylie Smith had to send it over as there's going to be a point for Glendale. What happened was off the swing, it was kept alive on a bump, but it was such a good swing by La Liberty that it came back to Glendale's side, and Kylie Smith with a quick move. And all Mesa could do to counter was send it back over, and it was out of bounds. And now Kylie Smith with another quick tip that doesn't get down, but it forces Mesa to give a free ball. And now it's going to be defer swings, and that's going to be a double hit. And I think Glendale wanted a double hit to begin with, and Nick Giotradakis giving the exact same signal the referee was giving to their bench, which was 2 fingers in the air. And I think he wanted that on Mesa. He's not going to get it, so Mesa's going to get a serve. It's a good low-line serve. Got to Montoya. And all Montoya can do is send it over, and slamming it back home is Leah Christ. She is a 6'4" sophomore, the middle hitter out of Desert Ridge High School. Now here's a serve from Mesa right to left, and Kylie Smith's going to get it over to Jasmine Smith. Now Jasmine Smith swings it towards the back row, but it's kept alive by Greenlee. Now there's a swing that's off the top of the block. Valdez dives, keeps that alive, and Kylie Smith has to dive to keep that alive. And Jasmine Smith punches it over, and it was such a line drive punch that Mesa couldn't handle it all that well. And Glendale now at the point, and only down 5-3. So we've seen Glendale be resilient all year long. And they're going to have to again as Kylie Smith gets it over. And a little miscommunication and a one-handed dive as there's going to be a net violation. And it was a little odd. The ball kind of careened off weird in the back row. And it looked like Trey Landvatter was trying to pull her hair out of her face. At the last second, she saw that ball landing, and she pulled her hand out to knock it high, but called for the net violation off that wacky bounce. Was Mesa. Now there's a swing by Montoya that gets down, and now GCC has tied it back at 5. So GCC, I think they're starting to find their confidence. Minus a 5-game win streak, they have been undefeated in conference. And obviously you can't play that in a vacuum, and you can't take away 5-game losing streaks. But other than that, they have played exceptional volleyball. And not to say that they played bad games as Montoya gets another point to go, and now the Gauchos are up to 6-5. Not to say that Glendale played poor games by any stretch. It's not like they were getting blown out of the water, but they just weren't getting the results they got. And now that they're seeing the results, their confidence seems to be growing. And now they lead this first set in a pivotal game against Mesa Community College, 6-5. Now there's a swing, and it's going to get down from Landvatter on the right side of the Mesa half of the court. And Mesa has now tied it back at 6. And so for GCC, it's all about making sure there's not too many momentum swings one way or the other, or at least against them, should I say. They obviously, as a team, you would want all the momentum if you could have it. As now Jasmine Smith keeps that alive, gets over to Kylie Smith, who gets it over to Defer. Defer can't knock that one down, and now Mesa is going to get an attempt, and it's going to be a double hit on the set attempt by Jess Perry. And some free points to Glendale. And they now lead 7-6. And so for the Gauchos, trying to find that big win here in conferences. There's only going to be 2 more home games left after this. As the swing finds the hole in the GCC defense, that's from Valier. And we're back at 7. So now coming in to serve for Mesa is Rachel Graff. And Graff, the 5'5" freshman out of Goodyear High School, and out of Goodyear, out of Millennium High School, as that ball gets over the net, almost gets down, but it's kept alive by Jasmine Smith, who gets it to Kylie Smith to Montoya, and her swing goes off the top of the net and affects it to the point where it slows down and falls in front of 2 diving Mesa players who thought that ball was coming a little harder. Instead, it falls right in front of them, and Gauchos now up 8-7. So here's Valdez. Valdez gets it over, and it's to the back row. It's not handled all that well by Cone, but they were going to get a swing on it, and that was Chris who gets blocked. Now there's a swing, and it's going to go off the top of the block, and Jasmine Smith saves it. Now the set behind Montoya, but uses her athleticism to get it across the net and drops it down right before it misses the boundary. And an impressive shot by Oriana Montoya keeps the service on Glendale's side. As now here comes a swing from Perry. That's wide, or too far, of the back boundary. And now it's 10-7 Glendale. And we saw this from Glendale against Arizona Western, building up good leads and being able to consistently sustain those leads. As they serve off the net, almost goes down. And that was McLean Ward who kept that alive at the last second. And now Smith's going to set up La Liberty. Oh, and it's going to be Glendale's point. Yeah, they're going to give Glendale a point. They're going to call a net violation. And that's going to lead to a timeout from Megan Taylor and Mesa. We'll be back here on Gauchos live stream. Glendale leads 11-7 in the first set. Welcome back here to Glendale Community College. My name is Seth Atchison, and Glendale leads in the first set against Mesa, 11-7, as Mesa's going to have to send the ball over, and it's going to be a free ball for Glendale. Now Kylie Smith sets it over to the left side, and hitting into the block is Tregaboff, and it gets down. And Glendale now up 12-7, and this is a big win for either of these teams, and Glendale is the one showing the most fight right now, as now a tip over the net, and Jasmine Smith keeps that alive, so Montoya's going to swing that. Looked like it might have hit the ground. They said Smith got a hand under it, Jasmine Smith that is, and now a swing goes off the top of the block. As it was called wide by the line, or far by the line judge, but the podium judge right there to see it go up top of the block, literally happening right in front of him, right before the antenna. And we have a 12-8 lead now for Glendale. Now Jasmine Smith keeps it alive. Gets it to Kylie Smith and Montoya. Montoya swings hard and gets it down the line. And that extends the Gaucho lead back to 5. So Glendale, it seems as the season has gone along. And they had to check on the server as Glendale avoiding a rotation violation. And so it's Montoya who's serving. And she gets it over the net. Now there's a little tip that's going to go way too far, and it's going to be another point as Paige Greenlee tried to get it over the top of the block and past the Gauchos defense. It worked earlier in this set where a little tip found some open area in the back corners. There's a serve into the net by Montoya, giving a free point to Mesa. And what I was saying prior to that was Glendale seemed to have been cleaning up their unforced errors, and other than that one right there by Montoya, which is a service into the net, they've been very clean throughout this game, as now there's a serve that gets over to Montoya. Now Smith's going to set up a Liberty, hits into the block, and Montoya's right there. Now there's a swing from Tregaboff. That goes into the block, and Montoya's there. Now it's going to be set up again for Tregaboff, and she knocks it home on the third try. And Glendale not going away on that rally, and they pick up the point, 15-9. And so here comes the serve. It's going to get over. That time it was coming from Tregaboff. And Romo's running into the podium face first and unable to get to that ball was Schoenwetter. And Glendale now up 16-9. And here comes the next serve from Tregaboff, left to right on your radio dial or your computer screen. That gets over, and it was bumped by Graff, and nobody was ready to go get that ball for Mesa. And it falls out of bounds on their own side. And it's 17-9 in favor of Glendale. Now here's a serve from Tregaboff again. Almost gets down, but it's kept alive by the libero cone. Another swing towards the back corner that gets down for Mesa. And it is now 17-10. So Glendale tied for second place with Mesa in Division II Region 1 as Montoya and Valdez almost get into some trouble. And going up at the net to really stuff the ball is Kylie Smith. And it got Glendale another opportunity. Now Montoya's got to keep the ball alive off a good swing. And now Jasmine Smith tries to tip it over to the back corner like Mesa's been doing to Glendale all first set. And now there's a swing that goes cross net, and it looks like it went off the block a little bit. That kill goes to Valier. And it's 17-11, Glendale. Now here comes the service from Whiting. Whiting gets it over, and it's set up for Montoya. And going up is Kylie Smith, and muscles that ball over the net in front of that block. And it's going to be 18-11 now in favor of Glendale. And we'll see if they can close out this set. Now here comes the serve from La Liberty. She gets it hard and low, and it gets over the net. Now there's a swing that's going to get saved there. That was Christ. Now here's a swing from Tregaboff that's going to hit the net and fall over. And Tregaboff, her eyes at first when she swung at that, she was very upset at herself that she didn't get over. And she had enough might on it to bend that net, and it got down. And for Glendale, it's now a 19-11 lead. Here comes La Liberty. Here's her jump serve. It's another hard one, and that's kept alive by Whiting. Now there's a swing that gets off the top of the block, and it's kept alive by Glendale. Now it's Jasmine Smith. She swings hard and into the back row of the defense, and there was a hole there. Diving after it was Whiting, but it gets down, and Glendale up 20-11. Gets a timeout from Mesa. We'll be back here on the Gauchos live stream. Welcome back here to Gaucho's live stream. My name is Seth Askerson. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Wednesday night live from Glendale, Arizona. 20-11, the Gauchos lead the first set against Mesa, and there's a serve there from La Liberty, and trying to keep it. Oh, and a tough swing there by Defer. She had it perfect, and she hit it off of her forearm instead of her hand, and it goes out of bounds, so that's a free point for Mesa. And hopefully it doesn't prove too costly. Glendale's up by 8, and that's going to get sent right back to Glendale as a serve by Greenlee goes far the boundary. And it's back to a 9-point lead, excuse me. But that was a huge chance for Defer to put that one away and gain even more momentum. By the way, Glendale really taking control as Whiting struggling to handle that serve. But Mesa, that is able to get the ball over the net, and Kylie Smith jumps after it, and it goes off her hands and out of bounds on the Glendale side. And that's 21-13, so Mesa serving right to left, and they will be the ones serving. It's going to be McLean Ward for the team in red. Here's her serve. It's a high lofting one, and it's kept alive by Jasmine Smith. Gets it to Kylie Smith, who gets it to Montoya with a swing, but that doesn't get down. Now it's Cone. She's going to set it up for Perry. She goes back row, but Kylie Smith's going to get to it. Now Montoya sets up Smith. It's a little tip, and now that's kept alive there by Mesa. Here's a swing towards the back row. That gets down by Valier. And that's 2 in a row for Mesa. And they've cut a 9-point lead to 7, 21-14 in the first set. Here comes another serve from McLean Ward. It's another floater, and Glendale's going to be able to handle it. Now it's Jasmine Smith off a pass from Kylie Smith. That goes off the top of the fingertips of Whiting. And Glendale back on top by 8, 22-14. So now there's a serve from Jasmine Smith as we had a little question about the score. Now there's a swing that goes off the top, and a diving save, by Kylie Smith. I wasn't sure the word for it. Pretty much a diving save, and Glendale will be able to get it over the net. Now another diving save by Valdez, and Jasmine Smith gets the ball over the net, but it's going to be a free ball. Now a swing gets into the block. That comes from Chris, and it's going to be the campfire. That dooms Glendale as a little tip over the block and in front of the back row. That's going to lead to the point from Mesa, but good job in front as they're able to deny Chris, the 6'4" sophomore. Now here's the serve. It's coming from Graff to the back row. A little miscommunication between Tregaboff and Valdez, but Glendale's able to get themselves set up. Montoya can't get that down, so it's going to be Perry for Mesa, who gets set up, doesn't get it down. Now Jasmine Smith to Montoya, who knocks it over. Mesa's going to get another chance. There's a swing from Chris, but that one doesn't get down. It's going to be Montoya from Kylie Smith. That goes out the block. Out of play. And it's going to be 23-15 Glendale, 2 points away from grabbing an all-important first set. As now Valdez is going to be the server. She hits it hard, and it's over, and that gets down on the line. She went cross-court with that serve. And it's set point. So let's see if Valdez can get another one of those serves down. As now Valdez high floater. That one almost gets down, but it's kept alive by Mesa. Here's a swing from Whiting. That's going to get down in front of Valdez. And it's going to be a point for Mesa. But they're still down 24-16, an 8-point margin. And Glendale needing 1 point to get out of this first set with a victory. Now Tregaboff gets it up to Kylie Smith, who sets it back to Tregaboff. Oh, and that goes right off the hand of Cone. And that was probably going out of bounds, but Mesa's able to get it over to the net anyways. It's going to be Montoya who swings it into the net. And now it's 24-17. Glendale really needs to finish strong here. We've seen them this season not have the greatest of finishes. You can recall the South Mountain match here. And one that's not costing them too much right now, as there's another serve. And this one's by Cone. That's going to be an ace. And now it's 24-18, and we're going to get a timeout from Glendale. Glendale 24-18, but they've given up the last 3, and they need to find a way to finish this first set. We'll be back here on the Gauchos live stream. Welcome back to Gaucho's live stream. Glendale trying to close out the first set against Mesa. They're up 24-18, but have given up the last 3 points. Now Tregaboff's going to take a serve in the back row to Kylie Smith. Now it's going to go back to Tregaboff, who can't get that one down. Now here comes a tip from Perry. That one's not going to fall. Now Kylie Smith gets it back over the net. And Talisa Valdez can't get it over. And now it's 24-19. And Mesa starting their comeback. It's one that Glendale doesn't want to happen and to shift momentum. Now the ball is going to get over the net, and it's kept alive by Tregaboff. A little miscommunication, and Liberty and Jasmine Smith almost collide, and now it's 24-20. And closing matches, like I said, hasn't been the strong suit for Glendale, but they need to do it right now. Still have a 4-point margin, and there's Cone. She's going to go to the back row. It's going to be Valdez. Going to be set up there from Montoya from Kylie Smith. It's into the block, but it doesn't get down. Now it's tipped over the net, and Mesa's going to have another chance. Now a little swing there that doesn't get down from Greenlee. Here comes Tregaboff. She swings. It goes off the top of the net. That's not going to get down, and it's going to be another attempt. This one's Whiting. It goes off the top of the net. Gets down in front of Jasmine Smith. And Mesa pushes themselves within 3. So at one point in time in this set, a couple of times actually, 9-point lead for Glendale has been cut to 3. As now it's going to be set up for Montoya. It's going to go off the hands of Cone, and she keeps it alive. Now it's going to be set up for Whiting with the tip. And this time it's going to be Tregaboff to Kylie Smith, who's going to get it back to Tregaboff. Hits it into the block. That gets down on the Glendale side. And all of a sudden, we're going to get a timeout here. And Glendale, who was really cruising in this set, has to find a way to finish this out. Up by 2, but allowing Mesa to climb back into it. We'll be back here on the Gauchos live stream. Welcome back here to Gaucho's live stream. Glendale up by 2, but at 1 point leading by 9 in the set. But they only need 1 to close this out. It's 24-22. Valdez keeps the serve alive. Now it's going to be a swing by Tregaboff. That's not going to get down. Mesa was very stout defense as this set has gone along, and they've got themselves back within 2. Now there's a little swing by Tregaboff that's kept alive by Cone one-handed. Now Cone's going to send it over, and Glendale is going to get themselves a chance. It's going to be Tregaboff. Hits it into the block. That's going to get down. And now, within 1. And Glendale needs to close this one out right here. Here comes the serve from Cone. It's going to be set up to Montoya. She swings. That's gonna go in. It's going to get down, but they called a violation. But either way, Glendale picking up the first set victory. A lot closer than I'm sure Coach Tuck would wanted. What was a 9-point lead was cut to 1, 24-23. But they finish it out 25-23, and most importantly have the 1-0 margin after 1. We'll be back here on the Gauchos live stream where Glendale's won the first set 25-23. Welcome back here to Gaucho's live stream. My name is Seth Askelson. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Wednesday night. Glendale winning the first set, 25 to 23 over Mesa, but they did have a 9-point lead at one time. Actually had a couple points, and the first serve in this set's going to go in the net from Montoya, so not a great start for Glendale here in the second. But they do have a 1-0 lead in sets, and there is plenty of time to correct the mistakes they made. And I think it was more that Mesa just started to pick it up defensively as trading service errors early on here. It was Montoya for Glendale to start, and now it's one from Paige Greenlee that goes wide of the boundary. And we're tied back at 1. Now here's a hard serve there from Jasmine Smith. Now there's going to be a setup that's going to get down. A set and kill that gets down for Mesa. And now they're up 2-1. Both teams at 7 and 5. Glendale did win the earlier matchup this year at Mesa. And so for Glendale, definitely one that they need to actually, they did lose at, let me check that again. I believe they did win at Mesa, as there's a swing that gets over the top of the net, and now a swing by Jasmine Smith that doesn't get down. Now here's a swing that gets into the block off Christ, and now we're going to get 2-2 as Glendale trying to go to 8 and 5 and take sole possession of second place, and something that they definitely are looking forward to. And they did lose. That is correct. They did lose 3-2 to Mesa last time, as there's a couple of dives. Good serve. That's going to count as an ace, as it was kept alive, but a couple of dives later, nobody on Mesa could get to it, as there was a near car wreck collision, and Glendale up 3-2. So Glendale looking to exact revenge after they lost on the road. Mesa looking for the season sweep, and to go up by 1 on Glendale for second place. Might not matter either way, as both teams could face off against each other in the regional tournament. What's more important is the winner of this game would at minimum be 1 game behind Scottsdale, as there's a swing there by Tregaboff that doesn't get down. Thanks to Whiting now, there's a swing that's going to get into the block, but Mesa keeping it alive, and we've seen it all night, and there's a swing into the back corner of the defense. And that gets down, and it's 4-3 Mesa, as the winner at minimum would be 1 game behind Scottsdale, who's in first place for home court advantage, as now there's a soft serve that Tregaboff doesn't have a great time handling, but Glendale's able to get the ball over thanks to Montoya either way. Now there's a swing towards the back row, and it's Jasmine Smith who keeps that alive. Now there's a swing from Defer. That one doesn't get down thanks to Cone. Now it's Perry who swings and going to get it down right before the back boundary. And it's 5-3 in favor of Mesa. And so Mesa playing in Pima tonight. So if they lose, or Scottsdale playing in Pima, if they lose, the winner of this game would be tied for first place. As now there's a swing that, didn't hit the top of the block, and I believe that's the right call as that hit the net. Really quick, back to the end of the first set on the game-winning point. Montoya had a good swing, and it did get down in bounds, but they called a rotation violation, saying one of the players in the back row, and they said it was Allen, was cheating too far over him, and they called that violation. As now here's a swing by Tregaboff that's going to go off the arms of McLean Ward and pumps up the GCC bench. Still down by 2, but hoping to change that momentum. So now 6-4. And we are going to get another serve from Glendale. This is Kylie Smith with the line drive serve. That one doesn't get down. Now there's a swing by Greenlee, and that falls in front of Valdez. And it's going to be 7-4 in favor of Mesa. That ball coming in here on the scorer's table, and I couldn't get my hand out fast enough. So it rolls right past me. But I want to keep bringing you the live action, as now Cone keeps that alive. And it's going to get hit into the block. And this time it's by Greenlee. That one's going to get down. And it's 8-4 in favor of Mesa. So now here comes another serve from Cammie Cone, the sophomore libero. She goes towards the back row. Valdez handles that well. Now it's Kylie Smith. Keeps it alive, and Valdez has to hit it over as there's some miscommunication. Perry almost runs into Cone. but they're still going to be able to get the ball over, at least get the opportunity, and it does. Valdez has a dive as that ball was lined towards the back row, and Kylie Smith and Jasmine Smith run into each other. They run into each other pretty hard, and that ball goes wide, and we're going to get a timeout from head coach Lisa Stuck of Glendale. We'll be back here. Glendale up 1-0, but Mesa leading the second set 9-4. Welcome back here to Gaucho's live stream. My name is Seth Askelson, and Mesa leads the second set 9-4. They get the serve from Cone. It's going to go to Kylie Smith, who gets it to Montoya. She swings it. It goes out the back arms, and it gets over the Glendale net, and Kylie Smith's going to get a net violation. And coming out of that timeout, Glendale gives up yet another point, and Lisa Stuck was infuriated following prior to the timeout, as she called that very angrily, and it was very vocal as Cone is going to send that high and just wide. Great run of serves for her, but it's going to come to an end as Glendale now trails by 5. Mesa up by 5. There's a serve from Tregaboff. That's not going to get down. It's going to be set up there to Perry. She does the tip move, but it's not going to get past Montoya, who's going to get set up for the swing into the block, and it's going to get down in front of her. Now it's 11-5 Mesa. And so some tough sledding for Glendale here, as Mesa has really picked it up defensively, and they're really getting to all the loose balls in terms of diving around and really getting some bounces, and it's all come from their hard work. No, I don't know how much luck is involved in it, as Kylie Smith's got to use a fist to get back to it, to get to the ball and send it back for at least an opportunity. And now a swing gets down in the back row, as the only one back that was Valdez in the middle, and it goes to her left. And now it's 12-5 in favor of Mesa. Now here's the serve by Schoenwater. That's going to be kept alive by Glendale. Now there's a swing by Jasmine Smith. That's too far and too wide, and we're going to get a timeout here from Coach Stuck as she slams the ball down, her clipboard down, and not a happy camper. We'll be back here on the Gauchos live stream. Mesa leads the second set 13-5. Welcome back here to Gaucho's live stream. Coach Stuck having another vocal conversation with their team during that last timeout, hoping to get them ready as a swing is going to go off the block and into the antenna, and Glendale is going to get themselves a point out of the timeout, something they failed to do on actually only getting 1 point, out of that last timeout. Able to get one right out of the gate. Now here's a swing that's going to go into the block, and it's going to get down on Mesa's side. And Glendale 2 in a row, so that timeout has seemed to work for the time being. As now Valdez with her second service. Valdez gets the signal and goes right to left with the serve. It's high, but it doesn't get down, and now Mesa's going to get an attempt. It's going to be Greenlee into the, or Valier, into the block. That doesn't get down. And now Mesa's going to get another opportunity as Kylie Smith keeps it alive, and it's going to be Jasmine Smith with the swing, but that's stopped from hitting the ground by Schoenwetter. Now a swing to the back row kept up by Valdez. Here's Montoya. She swings it. That's going to get down. And Glendale starting to chug their way back to a tie as they were down 13-5 prior to the last time out. Now at 13-8, and they still have the service. Now the serve. It's Valdez. Gets it to the back. There to Whiting. Whiting had a little miscommunication there in the back row with Valier, but they were able to get it over either way, and there's a swing that gets just past the hands of Tregaboff. And Mesa picks up a point after giving up 3 in a row. It is now 14-8. As now here comes the serve from Rachel Graff. Graff gets it over, and she goes across court, and Jasmine Smith handles it. Now it's Oriana Montoya with the swing, but that doesn't get down thanks to Cammie Cohn. Now a tip is going to fall right in front of Tregaboff. And now the lead at 15-8, and it looks like Maya Doyle's coming in, and we'll see who gets the hook. It's going to be Tregaboff, as the ball fell right in front of her, and she's had it rough the last couple of services. And so it's going to be Maya Doyle. GCC an even shorter bench tonight as Taylor Glidewell, as there's a swing by Jasmine Smith into the block, so it's going to be Montoya on the other side. That's going to go into a block and get down, and now it's an 8-point lead again. As Taylor Glidewell has a wrap on her right knee, the one that she had 2 ACL surgeries on in 2 years. She is not dressed, and so Glendale with 3 subs. Now there's a swing by La Liberty into the block, and GCC is going to get an opportunity to get it over, and Kylie Smith sends it on the third try. And now a swing's going to get down in front of Kylie Smith and Valdez. And now it's 17-8, that is, Mesa. And the life seems to have been sucked out of this building starting towards the end of that first set, as it's going to be a rotation violation on Glendale. And Jessica Taylor's now going to come in for Kylie Smith. And we've seen this move from Lisa Stuck before, pulling her sophomores and trying to spark the team. And Jessica Taylor has been a frequent replacement for Kylie Smith in those situations. We'll see how she performs. Now it's going to be bumped there by Smith, who gets it to Taylor. Now a swing into the block, goes towards the back, and it's going to get down, and Mesa is starting to take control here. 19-8 in favor of Mesa, and it's going to be another serve for Rachel Graff. Graff gets the signal, now goes left to right on the line drive serve that hits the net and falls on her side. So Glendale down 10 is going to get an opportunity to start putting themselves in a good position here. Here comes the serve from Montoya. It's to the back row, and that's kept alive. Now Mesa's going to get an opportunity. It's Whiting. She swings, hits into a hole in the defense, and it's now 20-9, and the Mesa bench is absolutely fired up. Lisa Stuck at a timeout, and her team down 20-9 in the second set. Now here comes the serve from Greenlee. It comes to the back row to Montoya. Now Taylor gets it to Montoya again, who swings it over. And now Mesa's going to have to get it over on the third hit. They hit it into the net, and they trade points with Glendale. But at this rate, Glendale is going to lose this match by 10. Well, this set, that is, by 10. They do lead the match, though, 1-0, finding themselves in a 20-10 hole in the second. Here comes a serve from Jasmine Smith. Goes cross court there at Whiting, and Whiting bumps it up. Now there's a little tip that's almost going to fall between the defense. Jasmine Smith kept that one alive, though, and Mesa's going to get a free ball. Now here comes a swing from Whiting. That goes off the top of the block. That's going to get down off the Glendale side, and it's going to be 21-10 now. And Mesa really jacked up all the momentum. And coming off the court there was Trey Landvatter, and you heard her. She said, finish it to the server, Haley McLean Ward. Something Glendale had trouble with last time. We'll see if Mesa struggles or puts this one away as now Law Liberty swings into the block, and it's going to go out of bounds. So the lead cut back to 10, but it's 21-11. Now here comes Law Liberty on the serve. She's going to get the signal, gets a couple bounces. Now she's going right to left. She's going to get a jump serve, and it's a liner. That's going to get to the back row of Mesa. Now there's a swing, and Law Liberty keeps that alive with a double-handed bump as Mesa's going to get another opportunity, and a quick tip there. That's going to get down. And fooling everybody there was the setter, McLean Ward. And we just got to make sure the substitution's correct and they do it properly. And it's Valier who comes in for Rachel Graff. Now a serve from Whiting. Here it comes. It's a line drive that gets over the net. And now Taylor's going to set up. The hitter defers. She gets it into the block. And now a swing there by Tregaboff into the block, but a one-handed attempt keeps it alive for Mesa. And they get it over the net. Now Taylor is going to set up Tregaboff. She's going to hit the antenna. And unfortunately, that one hit the antenna because that was a good swing by Tregaboff, who has struggled as this set has come along. And before Mesa got in huge trouble, Cammie Cohn had the ball, and it was Whiting, and Megan Taylor jumped up to make sure that they didn't get a rotation violation. Now there's a swing into the block, and it was deferred. It was kept alive by Valdez, but only for a split second. And a nightmare second set is almost over for Glendale. Down to 24-11. It's set point for Mesa with Whiting serving again. Here comes the serve from Whiting. It's a line drive, and it barely gets over the net, but it works. Now here's a tip there by Tregaboff from Taylor, but that doesn't get down. Now here's Valier. She goes to the back row. It's kept alive by Smith. Now here's a swing by Tregaboff, who had to swing behind her body and cross court. Now a kill there by Mesa. That was Leah Christ. And GCC, a horrible second set, losing 25-11, but the game only tied at one set apiece. So they definitely have a lot of time to fix their mistakes. We'll be back here on the Gauchos live stream. Mesa tying the game in the second set at 1-1. They win 25-11. We'll be back with third set action after this. Welcome back to Gaucho's live stream. Mesa won the second set 25-11 and tied the match 1 set apiece. They get the first serve, and it's going to come from Rachel Graff right to left. Kept alive by Tregoboff, but unable to handle it very well was Glendale, but they are able to get it over the net. And now here comes a swing that's into a block and out of bounds. And Mesa picks up the first point. And it is absolutely shocking to see. If you're at the game, or if you were at the game late, listening to this later, Glendale 3 subs available. You look at Mesa, and they have an entire army back there in case they need some subs. And so Glendale running short bench. Very impressive what they've done, but I know Coach Stuck not going to make any excuses, especially an excuse like that. Now there's a swing by Whiting that's too far to the back boundary, and that's going to get Glendale a point. They tie the game 1-1. As they had a rough second set, lost 25-11. And so they're definitely going to just burn that one and try to pick up this one here in a pivotal game. Both teams 7-5 in conference. As now Doyle gets the confusion of Rachel Graff, but Graff is able to choose on the bump instead of the set. And now Montoya gets it over the net after a series of weird bounces of the ball off Glendale arms. They're able to get it over, and now they're going to call a double hit on Kylie Smith. And that's the unfortunate way that ends. And Glendale now down 2-1. And here comes the serve from Greenlee. Greenlee is going to go with a line drive to Valdez in the back row. She gets it to Kylie Smith, who gets it to Montoya. She swings in a diving save that gets it over the net by Schoenwater. So Glendale's going to try again. Montoya's swing doesn't get down, so Mason's going to have an opportunity. It's Whiting. Hits it into a block. That's Defer, and she is fired up. As Glendale now ties it at 2. And so Glendale, who had trouble closing out the first set, Mesa showed zero struggles in that. And so we're back at 1, and might as well be back at 0, first one to 2. And that's the way Glendale really needs to play right now, a race. The end of that first set and all of that second set. As now we're going to get a substitution coming in as Perry. And also in for Mesa to serve is McLean Ward. So 3-2 for Mesa. And it's going to be McLean Ward going right to left. She's going to go towards the back row. It's alive by Doyle. Now Smith sets it up for Montoya. She tips it into the block, so they're going to get an opportunity. That's Jasmine Smith who can't get that down. Now here comes a tip from Whiting, and the Smiths have a little trouble communicating, but Maya Doyle gets the ball over on the third hit. Now a swing. It looked like a mistimed jump a little bit, but it worked with the soft swing. And Mesa now up 4-2. So now here comes a serve again by Mesa. And a rotation violation that leads to points. So they did give there a point. And that one's going to get down, so it's now 5-3. And so there was a point. There was a little confusion on whether it was a point or just a replay, as they called Law Liberty for a violation in a rotation violation. But Glendale gets that point back. 5-3 Mesa. Now a serve there by Taylor. And it's going to be Mesa who's going to get the chance. It's Whiting who hits it right down in front of Valdez. And that looked very awkward for Valdez as she dove and it bounced right before she got to it. And she could have severely jammed her shoulder. Is now coming in as Valaire and touches ponytails with Perry. And so Mesa going to try to win this third set as well. Some miscommunication there is going to lead to a free ball for Mesa. Here comes a swing by the newly entered Valaire. And that gets down. And Mesa now up 7-3. And the momentum train is starting to choo-choo further and further away from Glendale Station. As now the serve is going to get over by Whiting, and it's going to be Jasmine Smith who has to get it over on the third hit with nothing spectacular. And now it's going to be a swing there by Chris. That one doesn't get down. She doesn't really have to jump to get a great swing on it. Now it's going to be set up for Perry, who gets high in the air, drops in front of Valdez, and now it's 8-3 Mesa. It looks like Montoya is coming back in, and it's going to be for Jessica Taylor. And a tough match for Glendale. As here comes a serve from Whiting. Whiting goes towards the back, and it's going to be kept out there by Montoya. Now Jasmine Smith swings into the block, and Chris keeps that alive. No, they said that hits the ground. They said that hit the ground. And the teams continue to play it, and the podium official finally puts a stop to that. As Glendale gets the point, and it's now 8-4 in favor of Mesa. Now Jasmine Smith with a hard serve that goes far of the boundary, and it's now 9-4 in favor of Mesa. Now it's going to be a serve from Cammie Cone. Cone in the back row now gets a serve. It's going to be Valdez in the back row and keeps that alive. It's going to be a swing there by Tregaboff into the block. And we're getting a timeout from Coach Stuck. Still not pleased with the way her team has been playing the last maybe 2 full sets. And so we'll be back here on the Gauchos live stream. Glendale losing the second set 10-4. Welcome back to Glendale Community College. Mesa up 10-4 with the serve, and it's Cammie Cone. We are here in the third set on the Gauchos live streaming as there's a swing into the block, and Glendale's going to get it over on the second try on a tip. And now there's a swing that's not going to get down, as right there at the net was Greenlee for Mesa. Now a swing gets right in the middle of a couple of Mesa players, and it's 10-5. As Glendale trying to get themselves sole possession of second place, but it might not matter, as even if they don't get home court advantage, they will most likely be playing Mesa either way. As a good save by La Liberty, and another one by Montoya jumping up behind her, and now there's a tip that almost falls in the campfire, but it's going to be kept alive by Glendale, and there's going to be a swing by Montoya that gets over the net. Now a tip from Perry, that's not going to get down. Now there's a tip this time, and it's going to be Tregaboff with the swing that's not going to get down. It was defer on the tip that didn't get down. Now there's a swing that goes wide and far of the boundary. And that's now going to be 10-6 in favor of Mesa. So Glendale trying to climb their way back into this third set after they nearly squandered the first set, got demolished in the second, and they're trying to find their groove back here in the third, as now it's Defer who swings. And now there's another swing into the block for Mesa. This time it's Valier. That one gets down on the Glendale side. And it's going to be 11-6 in favor of Mesa. Now here comes a serve from Paige Greenlee. Greenlee gets the signal, is now going to serve right to left. It's going to get to Jasmine Smith. Gets it to Kylie Smith, who gets it to Tregaboff. Swings into the block. And it goes right back, and Montoya can't handle it. And it's now 12-6, Mesa. As now here comes another serve via Paige Greenlee. Greenlee line drive this time that Jasmine Smith handles. Now it's going to be Defer hitting into the block. And Glendale cannot get around the blocks. And the coaching staff right now of Glendale very unhappy. Nick Giotrakis punching his hands, as this has got to be very difficult, as anything there gets set up offensively is getting hit right into some blocks. As now there's a tip this time, a little better strategy, but that's not going to get down. Now there's a swing that goes into the net. So GCC forcing Mesa to play the ball a little bit, and they fault on it, or at least error on it, should we say. And it's 13-7. So Glendale fighting. They're not going away just yet. Kylie Smith gets it over the net to the Mesa side. Now there's a swing that gets right to Kylie Smith. Kept alive by Jasmine Smith. Now Kylie Smith comes in to swing hard. That's not going to get down as Kemi Cone keeps alive. Now it's up. That's swung into the net. Now it's punched over by Greenlee. So it's a free ball for Glendale. Now a swing by Montoya gets down. And that's 2 in a row in Glendale now. Not swinging into those blocks and finding creative ways to make Mesa play the ball. So here comes Kylie Smith. Jump serve towards the back. That's kept alive by Whiting. Now there's a swing that goes into the block, and Glendale's defense really starting to pick up here. Another try. Hits the block and in the stomach. And it's Greenlee on the second attempt that gets it down. But Glendale's defense seems to be picking up a little bit, as that was just an unfortunate bounce off the arm of that block. And now here comes the serve from Graff. Now Graff gets it over, and it's kept alive by Valdez. Here comes Montoya. She swings it, and she hits the antenna. It's going to be 15-8 now. And Mesa, as Glendale was pulling in closer, Mesa now trying to pull right back away, as Kylie Smith has to run over and keep that ball alive. So Glendale just has to send it over in the third hit. Now there's a swing by Whiting off the top of the block and down. And the lead extended to 8. 16-8, and we get a timeout from Glendale. We'll be back here on the Gauchos live stream. Welcome back here on Gauchos live stream. Mesa leading the third set 16-8. Sets tied at 1 apiece. And now there's a serve from right to left by Mesa that Glendale is going to handle relatively well, and they tip it over the net thanks to Tregovoff, but it's going to be set up by Mesa, and it's Whiting who can't get it down. Now there's a swing into the block, and it's going to get down out of bounds on Mesa's side. And Glendale with the point. 16-9 now as they try to fight their way back into this, as they struggle closing out the first set and blown out in the second. The third one hasn't gone all that much their way, but they're still in it at least a little more than they were in the second set, as now a tip over the block is going to get down, and Mesa now up 17-9. And so here comes the serve from Mesa. It's going to be Paige Greenlee. Greenlee goes to the back row. It's Valdez. Valdez gets it to Kylie Smith, who gets it to Montoya. She can't get it down. It's going to be a free ball for Glendale. Now it's Montoya again. She swings. That one's not going to go. And so Mesa's going to get a try. Now it's Whiting. Goes cross court. Valdez gets to it. And now a swing that gets into the block, and Glendale's going to get another chance. And it's Kylie Smith who tries to send it to the back corner, but Mesa's there. Now a swing there. And it's going to go off Valdez. That was crisped. And it's 18-9, and Coach Stark's already used both of her timeouts. And so Glendale is going to have to play this one through. As now there's a serve by Greenlee. It's to Valdez, who gives it to Kylie Smith. Now it's Jasmine Smith who swings. And it's kept alive by Graff for Mesa. It's going to be Whiting again. Goes cross court off the top of a block to Doyle. Now it's going to be Montoya. That one's going to go off a block, and it's going to go to Graff in the back row. Now there's a left-handed swing there by the hitter, Landvetter. And the ball's not going to get down for Glendale as they send it over. And so it's going to be Greenlee with it to Kylie Smith. Now it's Montoya to Jasmine Smith, and they're going to call a double on Oriana Montoya. And this lead extended to 10, 19-9. And it is a tough one right now for Glendale to stomach, as there's a service error by the server Greenlee of Mesa. And so luckily for Glendale, they're going to get themselves a serve. And so the libero is going to replace Greenlee in the back rows. It's Cammie Cone. And now here's the swing from Valdez. And it's going to be set up, and it's going to be into the block. And it's going to be Glendale's ball. 19-11 here on the board as Glendale tries to work their way back in, as Valdez is going to get herself a service error. And now it's 20-11. And a very frustrated coaching staff of GCC, and I don't blame them, as it's a tough night. But Glendale, they're still not out of it yet. Sets are tied at 1, and this third set's still going on while down by 9. We've seen crazier things happen even this season as Jasmine Smith swings and it's into the block, and it's down on Mesa's side for the point. So GCC's got to start cutting into that lead if they want to pick up a third set victory, and it's going to be Montoya on the serve for the team in black. Here comes the serve from Montoya. It's a line drive to Cone, but she handles it. Now it's Whiting who swings. That goes out of bounds, and Glendale now 2 in a row, and they're starting to string some things together here. Down by 7, at one point down by 10. Here comes Montoya with another serve, and it's going to be a lob serve that goes too far. Trying to touch that back edge, and she was unable to. Right now, Glendale just needs the points. As now coming in to serve for Mesa is going to be Cambria Whiting. As here comes the serve. Whiting goes to Montoya. Montoya struggles to handle it. Valdez gets to it. And now it's Doyle with a back end swing, and she hits it way too far. And now Mesa 3 points away from closing out this third set. Now here comes the serve from Whiting. Whiting's going to tip it over the net. That was a great serve as it forced Valdez to come up and dive for it. Now Jasmine Smith gets it to Whiting, and there's going to be a carry. They're going to call a carry. And it's going to be Glendale point. And they really need to string it together right now. They're 3 points away from dropping the third set. As now it's Jasmine Smith. She goes line drive off the top of the net. And getting to it is Cone. Now the swing off the top of the block, but it's Valdez who keeps it alive. Now it's Montoya who swings. That goes off the top of the net, and Mesa's able to control it. Now it's Perry. Goes to the back, and a collision, or a near collision, by Montoya and Valdez. And it's been tough sledding right now for Glendale, but they're not out of this third set quite yet, and they're going to have at least one more to correct it. Hoping to push it to a fifth set. Now Montoya struggling to handle the service. She bumped it over to the other side, and it gets slammed back home. That time by Perry. And it's 24-14 in favor of Mesa. Now the serve by Cone. That's going to get over to Montoya. Montoya keeps it up, and now there's a set and a kill there by La Liberty. And it's going to be 24-15. As La Liberty is going to get a serve here. Still match point in favor of Mesa, 24-15. And now La Liberty with a line drive serve handled by Whiting. Now it's set up there, and it's swung but not down by Valier. Now deferred just has to get it over. And so it's going to be a set up there for Greenlee. Now Kylie Smith with a quick tip, but right there was Whiting. Now Perry swings it into the block. That's going to get back to Mesa's side, and it's going to be Greenlee Now it's La Liberty who keeps it alive in the background. Now there's a swing that gets down the line there by Tregoboff, and all of a sudden Glendale starting to feel it a little bit. Down by 8 still, but La Liberty has really fired this team up a little bit. She got the kill 2 points ago, and she played extremely well in the back row following her serve. Let's see if she can get another great serve as she line drives it to the back. Whiting keeps it alive. And now a tip that's going to be kept up by Glendale. Now it's going to be Montoya with the swing. Cone handles it well. Now it's going to be set there by McLean Ward. And a swing into a block, and Defer knocks that down. And it's the emotion right now starting to overwhelm GCC, and I'd say overwhelm them in a positive way, as Perry's coming out in favor of Schoenwetter. And Glendale trying to build some momentum. Even if they lose this set, they're still going to carry a good deal of momentum into that 4th set. But never say never, especially with Coach Stuck, as there's a swing there by La Liberty. She hits it in the net, and Glendale loses the set. So that 3rd set not going as well as Glendale hoped, and they lose 25-17, but there's still a 4th set, and they have to figure out what they're going to do in this 4th set. We'll be back here on the Gauchos live stream. Mesa wins the 3rd set 25-17. They lead 2-1. Welcome back to Gaucho's live stream. My name is Seth Askelson. Thank you for joining me on this Wednesday night. Glendale trailing 2-1 against Mesa in a pivotal matchup of 7 and 5 ACCAC Division II teams as the serve from Kylie Smith into the net. Not the way Glendale needed to start this set, as now Maya Doyle is the new libero replacing Talisa Valdez. And we'll see if that changes anything for Glendale. Now Kylie Smith's going to set up La Liberty, and then it's Smith coming in at the last second to save it. And it was a good move there as Mesa a little out of position defensively for the moment. Now he's swing by La Liberty. That's not going to get down. Now it's going to be set cross court there for Whiting, kept up by Doyle. Now it's Jasmine Smith. She swings into the block. Now she goes up, and it's out of bounds, and it's 2-0 in favor of Mesa. So Glendale having a hard time here in this game. Barely closed out the first set when leading by 9 at a couple points in that first. And then getting just outplayed in the last 2 sets. Now watching the ball fall right in front of her there was Whiting. And Glendale is going to pick up a point. And that's going to be Jasmine Smith on the serve. Now Smith gets the signal and serves right to left. It's a line drive, and that's kept up there by Whiting. Now it's going to be set over, and there's a swing that goes into the block. That was from Landvatter. Now a little miscommunication, and it might have been a net violation as Liberty and Montoya ran into each other. And now it's 3-1 Mesa. And Glendale trying to stay alive here in the 4th set. They're losing 2-1, trying to push this to a 5th set. Now there's a serve to the back row. Doyle keeps that alive. Now it's set up for Montoya, and she kills it hard. As now it's 3-2 Mesa. And Glendale, who started picking up the play a little bit at the end of the 3rd set, is really starting to feel it again. And only down by 1 here is now it's going to be La Liberty with a high toss and a hard serve that doesn't get down. Now there's a swing that goes into the block and gets down out of bounds on Glendale's side. And that's going to be a point for Mesa. And so Glendale down by 2 here in the 4th set, trailing 2-1 in sets in this game to Mesa. Now it gets over, and it's kept alive, and now there's a swing from Montoya, and that's going to fall off the block on the Mesa side, and now it's 4-3. So Glendale not letting Mesa pull away like they did in the middle sets. And we'll see if they can keep that going. Now handling that well was Cone, and now there's a swing into the block. That's off Tregaboff, and it goes to the back as nobody on Mesa was back there to handle it. And it's tied at 4. Now it's going to be Montoya on the serve. Montoya gets it over, and it's to the back row, and keeping alive was Cone. Now there's a swing that doesn't get down, but Doyle keeps it up. Now there's a swing by Tregaboff that's going to go off Cone in the back row, and it gets down for the point. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. We had a ball in the scorer's table, and we have it all resoluted as now there's a swing that goes off the antenna, and Glendale up by 2 in this 4th set. And so Glendale pulling some of the momentum back to them and trying to get themselves a 4th set victory. Now it's Montoya back to Whiting. Now it's going to be set up, and a swing there by Chris isn't going to get down. Now this time a swing that's going to go off the top of the block. Gets down, and it's 7-4 Glendale. So Mesa, who was leading 4-2 at one point, has given up 5 straight. And Montoya still serving. Here's Montoya. It's a good one towards the back, and that's kept alive by Whiting. Now it's set up, and it is swung by Perry, and it's Doyle to handle that in the back row for Glendale. Now a set and a swing by Defer. That's going to get down after it goes off a couple of Mesa hands. And it's 8-4. And we're going to get a timeout here by Mesa. So Glendale, who struggled in the 2nd and 3rd set, gets themselves an 8-4 lead and look to continue it. We'll be back here on the Gauchos live stream. Welcome back to Gaucho's live stream. Glendale leading 8-4 in the fourth set, trailing 2-1, but are on the right track to get themselves to a fifth and decisive set. Now another serve by Montoya is going to be handled by Mesa. It's sent over, and now it's going to be deferred with the swing that gets down, and the momentum starting to get on the Glendale side, and the energy back in this gym a little bit. And again, Perry is getting replaced by Schoenwetter, who had to do the same at the end of the third set. And so Mesa and Perry, it's not working out for her right now, as Whiting keeps it alive there for Mesa. Now a swing into a block by Belair is getting down for Glendale on Mesa's side, and it's 10-4. And so Glendale looking to hand back a taste of Mesa's medicine to them and get it to a fifth set. Now it's a serve by Montoya, kept alive by Whiting. It's the Schoenwetter who gets it there, and it does fall. Jasmine Smith couldn't get there quick enough. That was a swing by Krista. It goes off the block high, but it was falling so fast that Jasmine Smith couldn't get to it, unfortunately. And the ball falls after she tips it, and it's 10-5. But Glendale with a great run there. They had 8 points in a row. Now it's Montoya with a hard swing. It goes to Cone. It bounces off the ceiling. And now it's going to get over. Kylie Smith with the tip instead of the set. And it gets down. And now the score 11-5. And Glendale all pumped up right now, facing a loss here at home and was on the verge of an embarrassing loss. They are starting to turn things around here as now a swing is going to be kept up by Doyle. Now it's Jasmine Smith. That goes off the top of the block. Now it's Montoya. Back to Jasmine Smith who swings. That's kept alive by Cone. Now Mesa's going to get an opportunity, and that's going to go towards the back row and fall in front of Maya Doyle. And it's going to be a point for Mesa. And so the score 11-6. And Glendale and so 11-7. 11-6 as Glendale up by 5. Now there's a swing that goes into the block. Now it's kept alive by Kylie Smith. Now it's Defer gets it over. That's not going to get down, and now it's coming over as Cone. Now it's up, and that's into the block. There was a left-handed swing by Ladvatter. Now there's a swing. That's not going to get down. And a tip by Jasmine Smith catches the Mesa block off guard. It's going to be a free ball for Glendale now. Here comes Jasmine Smith with a hard swing this time. That's not going to get down. Now there's going to be a swing that's too far, and it's going to be the point to Glendale. And they're now up by 6. And now it's 12-6. And there is a dispute in the score here. As there is the right score. And at one point I thought it was 7 as well, but the official score has 6. Well, now it's 7 for Mesa, but at that point they had 6. And that's the correct score at any point in this gym. And so 12-7. And Mesa's going to get the serve. It's going to be Graff. Graff gets it over the net, and Montoya handles that. Kylie Smith going to set up Jasmine Smith with a good swing. That's not going to get down, and Mesa's going to get their opportunity. Whiting just has to bump it over, and it goes to Montoya, who gets it to Kylie Smith. And a good swing there by La Liberty, and it's going to go down into the Mesa bench. So 13-7, and Glendale finding a way to get themselves up by 5 in what has been a tumultuous game so far for them. They're looking to push it to a 5th set. Now it's kept alive by Mesa off the serve from Kylie Smith. Now there's a hard swing, and that blows up 2 Glendale players, but they're still able to get it over thanks to Kylie Smith. Now there's a swing that's going to get down. And valiant effort there by Glendale, as it was Valdez and Kylie Smith nearly running headlong into each other. And Kylie Smith still got the ball over. Now there's a swing that's on the net. La Liberty with the one hand keep alive. Now a swing by Montoya, and the ball is going to come into the scores table. And Glendale has now put themselves up 14-8. As coming down here in the scorers table. And here is a swing and a serve by Jasmine Smith. Now it's going to get set up, and there's a swing, and Jasmine Smith keeps that alive, and it's going to fall as nobody went for the ball. I think that was just a communication error. But the score is still 14-9 in favor of Glendale, and they seem to be controlling the pace of play. Now serving for Mesa is McLean Ward. She gets the signal now, serves left to right. It's a high floater kept alive by Tregaboff. Now Smith's going to set up Tregaboff, and that's going to hit the arms of McLean Ward. Now it's going to be a swing that's going to go way too far of the back boundary. And the lead extended to 6, 15-9. And for Glendale, they can win this all-important fourth set. As now a service from La Liberty at the line drive, and that's kept up there by Cone. Now there's a swing that's not going to get down thanks to Jasmine Smith. Now Montoya set up by Kylie Smith, and that gets down right in front of McLean Ward. And the score 16-9. And Glendale pulling the momentum towards them at the right time here. They're streaking, and they're looking to streak all the way to a fifth set victory. But they do need to close out this fourth. Up 16-9. Here's a serve by La Liberty, and that goes too far to the sideline, but that was a great serve. That was a liner. Unfortunately, it doesn't get down in bounds, and it's going to give a serve to Mesa. Now serving is Whiting for the Thunderbirds. Whiting gets a lob serve to Jasmine Smith, gets it to Kylie Smith, gets it to Tregaboff. That's into the net. Now one-handed there by Jasmine Smith, and unable to get to it is Tregaboff in time. And the lead cut 16-11. And now it's going to be Whiting on the serve for Mesa. As here comes the serve, and that gets almost down in front of Jasmine Smith, and all she can do is get it over. And Whiting has to dive over basically her own serve to keep it alive for Mesa. Now it's going to be set up to Tregaboff, into the block, out of bounds, and a point for Glendale. And it's 17-11. As the hitters for the team in black representing Glendale are starting to feel it. As now it's Montoya who gets it to the back to Whiting. Now it's going to be set up for Perry, who's been replaced twice already in this game for poor performance, but the tip's going to get down for her, and that could give her some confidence back as Mesa cuts it to 17-12. Now serving is Cammie Cone. And she's going to give the ball a couple of bounces before she gets it over the net. That's going to go to Montoya. Kylie Smith now sets up Tregaboff. That's going to go out the Perry block. And it's 18-12 now. And Glendale inching ever closer to a fourth set victory. Now it's Tregaboff. She's going to serve it. That's a liner. That's going to go weirdly off the hands. And it's going to be Kylie Smith. The ball comes off the hands of the player receiving the serve on Mesa, and it comes right back to Kylie Smith, who tries to plant a hole in the earth. And with that, we're going to get a Mesa timeout. We'll be back here on the Gauchos live stream. 19-12, the Gauchos lead the fourth set. Welcome back here to Gauchos live stream. Glendale leading the fourth set 19-12, trailing 2-1 in the match. Now a serve by Tregaboff is kept alive by Whiting, and all Mesa can do is get it over. Now Kylie Smith to Jasmine Smith. A swing, and that's going to hit the antenna. And it's going to be a point in favor of the Thunderbirds. So Glendale rolling themselves to what was a 7, now 6-point lead. And coming in to serve for Mesa is going to be Schoenwetter. And Schoenwetter now with the serve. It's Schoenwetter who gets it over, and then Valdez, a little indecisive about whether to let it land or not. And that's going to be Defer who hits it into the Mesa block, and now it's 2 in a row for Mesa. And the lead's now 19-14. And Coach Suck's going to take her timeout. She asked if she had 2. She was pleased that she had 2, so she's going to use one right here. And we'll be back here on the Gauchos live stream. Welcome back here to Gauchos live stream. Glendale coming out of a timeout, still leading 19-14 in this 4th set. Now here comes the serve from Schoenwetter. Kept alive by Valdez. Kylie Smith's going to set up Montoya in the back row with a good swing, and Cone keeps that alive. Now Mesa's just going to have to get it over in the 3rd swing. Now it's going to be Oriel and Montoya. Kylie Smith to Jasmine Smith with the tip instead of the swing, and that's going to get down. And Glendale 5 points away from a 5th set. That's going to be the new Glendale libero, at least new for the last couple of sets, Doyle. Now here comes the serve from Doyle. It's to the back row. It's kept alive by Whiting. Whiting gets over to Schoenwetter, who gets it over to one of her hitters. That's Valier. And that's going to get down. And the score now 20-15. And so coming in and now serving for the Thunderbirds is Rachel Graff. And Graff gets the signal and is going to serve. It's going to the back row, and it's Valdez to Kylie Smith. Now to Jasmine Smith, who swings into the block, and that's going to get down on the Glendale side. And it's 20-16. And Glendale hopefully not letting this lead slip too far away from them. Now it's going to be a good serve, and that's going to be out as Valdez lets it go. And Glendale racking up the 3 points as they push their way to a set victory. Now Kylie Smith. She's going to serve right to left, and it's a floater with no spin. And now it's going to be set up, and it's right into the block there, and Jasmine Smith tips it down. Now it's going to be Whiting with the swing, and it's going to go off the hands of Kylie Smith, even though that ball was going out of bounds, and Kylie Smith knew it. And Glendale hopefully trying to avoid a repeat of the first set where they let Mesa come within 2. Only to win the set on a rotation violation. Now it's going to be set up to La Liberty, who hits the top of the block. And Mesa, all their effort and all their hustle getting to those dangerous balls. And now there's a swing there by La Liberty. That gets down. And it's 22-17, but like I was saying, Mesa diving all over the court, and they're getting not only some good bounces, but definitely rewarded for their effort. And they've definitely earned a lot of those points where it looked like they were dead in the water. Now Jasmine Smith with the hard serve almost blows Graff off her heels, but she's able to get it to Whiting, and the ball's still alive. Now Whiting's going to get an opportunity, and it's Doyle. Now Kylie Smith sets up Tregaboff, hits that into the double block, and that's going to be a point for Mesa, who's only down by 4 at this point. If they can find a way to pull off this set, they would go home with the victory. Glendale trying to push it to 5 here. Now the serve, and it's going to go to the back row. Doyle keeps that alive to Kylie Smith. Now a swing there by Tregaboff's not going to get down. Now Mesa's going to get it over. It's Whiting. She goes to the back row. Doyle keeps that alive. Now it's Tregaboff who tries to go far back row, but coming over to help is Cone. And now Mesa's getting an opportunity as it's a tip. And Glendale's going to get now. It's Tregaboff who goes too wide, and that goes right past Cammie Cone's hand. And that could have been dangerous. And 22-19 now. And Glendale trying to close it out here. There's a serve. It's going to get over to Doyle. Over to Kylie Smith, allow Liberty into the block. And out of bounds on Glendale's side. And so Glendale now 2 points away. And they're playing for a victory and to get themselves the sole possession of second place in the region. Now it's going to be set up there, and it's going to fall in front as Chris with the tip instead of the swing. And now it's 23-20 in favor of Mesa. As now it's going to be Whiting to serve, and coming in is going to be Valier. Now Whiting on the serve. Her team trailing by 3. A floating serve that doesn't get down. Now it's going to be a swing by Montoya, and Whiting can't get to it. Out of bounds towards the stands. And 1 point away from a decisive set. It's Montoya. Gets the signal, now serves right to left. It's a floater, and it's kept alive by Cone. Now it's Schoenwetter who sets it up for Valier. She knocks it down. And the score now at 24-21. And it's going to be Cone serving. And Cone now gets the signal, and she's going to serve. It goes to the back to Doyle. To Kylie Smith. Now to Tregabuff. Hits it into the block, and it goes out of bounds on Glendale's side. And that's going to be the end of the 4th set. So we're all tied here at 2 apiece. We'll be back for the 5th and deciding set here on the Gauchos live stream. Welcome back here to Gaucho's live stream. My name is Seth Askelson, and we are here for the fifth and decisive set. Glendale picking up the first and fourth sets. Mesa taking 2 and 3. And so we will see who grabs the victory and sole possession of second place. Now Kylie Smith going to set up Montoya. That's into the block, and Glendale's going to get another chance. Now it's going to be Jasmine Smith with a tip, but that's going to get down thanks to Whiting. Now a tip over, and a blinded Jasmine Smith one-handed put it up, and that ball's going to get down from Doyle. And just like that, Glendale taking control here early on, and that's exactly what they needed. And so Jasmine Smith is going to get the serve, and that's a line drive that almost gets down in front of Whiting. And now Doyle keeps it alive. Oh, I don't know what they're calling. And they're saying it was in the net. And it's going to be 1-1. That's an in the net call. And Lisa's stuck looking for an explanation. And I think she's somewhat satisfied with what she got. As now the ball gets over, and Kylie Smith has to keep it alive after Doyle had trouble handling the good serve from Mesa. Now there's a swing that's into the block, and Mesa keeps it alive. Now it's up, and it's going to be Whiting who goes cross court to Smith. Jasmine Smith to Kylie Smith, now to Trigaboff. That goes kept alive, and now it's Cone who gets it over to Whiting with a little tip. Now Kylie Smith to Montoya. Cross court to Trigaboff, who goes just too far of the back edge. And now Mesa leads 2-1. And a very tense fifth set here, as Glendale trying to find a way to go 8-5 in conference. As now it's a serve to Glendale, and miscommunication by Montoya and Kylie Smith. I could hear, at least I thought, Montoya saying mine, and I don't know what the miscommunication was there. But it leads to a Mesa 2-point advantage. And now serving is Graff. Now Graff gets it towards the back, and it's kept alive by Doyle to Kylie Smith. Now it's Montoya who swings it, and it's going to get to Cone in the back row for Mesa. Now it's going to be Whiting, swings it, it goes off the top of the block. Kylie Smith, not a great pass, and Montoya has to keep it alive. Now she goes up again at the top of the net, but doesn't get it down. Now a quick tip, Jasmine Smith right there. Now Kylie Smith, the Liberty, off the top of the block and down. So now it's 3-2. And Glendale finding a way to not let Mesa get too far ahead, something that they struggled with in the second and third sets, but were able to do a good job in the fourth set and ultimately take control and finish it out. So now here comes the serve from La Liberty that almost gets down. It's going to tumble over the Mesa player in the back. That was Graff, and La Liberty has to dive for it to keep it alive. Now Trigaboff goes cross court, and she can't keep it in bounds, as now it's 4-2 in favor of Mesa. Last time it was 4-2 in favor of Mesa was the fourth set, and Glendale rattled off 8 in a row. So we'll see if Glendale can repeat the performance or even better it. As now it's Montoya, swings into the block. Kylie Smith rescues it. Now a little tip, and they're going to call a carry. And we're going to get a timeout here. 5-2 Mesa here in the fifth and final set. We'll be back here on the Gauchos live stream. Welcome back to Glendale Community College. The Gauchos trailing 5-2 to Mesa. And a serve It's a line drive that hits Jasmine Smith in the hands, hits the net and falls. And so Glendale now down 6-2. And it's going to be another serve by Greenlee. It's to the back row to Jasmine Smith. Gets it to Kylie Smith. Sets it up to Montoya, who swings hard. It goes off the hands there of Greenlee and out of play. Now it's 6-3 with Oriana Montoya serving. And so Glendale looking to fight themselves a 5-set victory. Mesa wanting that win as well. Now there's a swing to the back and it falls in front of, or to the side of Doyle to her left. And now it's 7-3. And it's going to be coming into the game and serving McLean Ward, the sophomore out of Roswell High School. Now here comes the serve. It's going to go left to right and it's going to go to Doyle. Doyle to Kylie Smith to Montoya in the back row, and she hits it into the net. And it's 8-3, and now we're going to get a switch of benches here. And for Glendale, they're going to have a tough hill to climb. Down 8-3, and needing 5 points to tie it, let alone win this game. They still need 12 to win. And so, fifth and decisive set for these Gauchos. And we'll see if the rotation is correct. Yep, and it's going to be a violation. And it was a violation there as I believe Defer, Smith. It looked like it was Defer, Smith, and Tregaboff were in the wrong places. And it's going to cost Glendale yet another point. And Coach Stock having an intimate talk with Kylie Smith. And we'll be back here on the Gauchos live stream. Welcome back here to Gauchos live stream. Glendale down 9-3, and after rotation violation, it's going to get even tougher for them, down by 6. And now there's a swing by Tregaboff that's not going to get down. It's to the back row. Now it's kept alive and over, and it's going to be kept there by Glendale. Now Kylie Smith. Now a swing into the block by Defer, but smart play there by Glendale's Defer, Montoya, and Kylie Smith all watched to go out of bounds instead of touching it. And so they pick up a point. And so here comes the serve from Tregaboff, and that's almost going to fall in front of the Mesa player. Now there's a tip kept alive there by Montoya. Now it's Jasmine Smith, hits that one into the net. And Mesa 5 points away from capping off a 5-set victory. And we'll see if we get a substitution, and we will. That's coming in as Valier. And it's 10-4. And it is going to be Whiting to serve. Now Whiting gets it over to Montoya. Kylie Smith sets up Jasmine Smith. She swings hard. And in the back corner, that gets down. And so 10-5 in favor of Mesa now, but Glendale trying to work it all the way back. Now Doyle's going to get the signal, and she's going to serve it. It goes off the net and almost down, but it stayed up. Now there's a swing, and Jasmine Smith keeps that alive. It's going to be Montoya to the back row to Cone, who keeps that alive. Now a tip. Kylie Smith's going to help that up. Now Montoya to Jasmine Smith. Cross court and out. And now it's going to be 11-5 in favor of Mesa. Now it's going to be Cammie Cone, the libero. 5'5" sophomore of Desert Ridge High School. And Glendale, 3 subs only as Taylor Glidewell is out, trying to find a way to win it as now Kylie Smith gets to the net. And Mesa struggling to handle the ball as Kylie Smith has been some sort of monster at the net tonight, especially on those loose balls, really. And when that ball's in the air, it's 50-50 at the top of the net. She has been the one to really muscle it through. And now a bad bump, and it's going to get tipped over. And a little miscommunication, but it's going to be Jasmine Smith. Hits into the block and down. Yeah, and Lisa Stuck very unhappy with the no call as reaching over the net there was the Mesa player. It looked to be McLean Ward to tip it over, kind of a layup style finger roll. Either way, Glendale got the point. Now that's kept alive by Glendale. Here's the swing by Smith. Instead it was a tip, and now Glendale's going to have to do it one more time, and Valdez gets it over the net. Now it's going to be set up there, and a swing goes off of Doyle as she tried to get out of the way. As Doyle just couldn't do it. And it's 12-7. As now Valdez is going to get pulled in favor of Tregaboff. And so 12-7 here, Glendale in a hole, but not out of it. Here comes the serve. It goes right to left, and Doyle handles it now to Kylie Smith. The Tregaboffer swings into the net, or into the block, that is, and down on the Glendale side. And Mesa 2 points away from closing it out, and now Valdez coming back in for Tregaboff. And so 13-7, Glendale and Coach Stuck trying to find a way to win this, and this is very important in terms of seeding. As here comes the serve. It's going to go right to left. It's there by Jasmine Smith. The Kylie Smith is going to go back to Jasmine Smith. She hits it into either the net or the block. From this angle, it looked like it was the net. Either way, it falls back on her side. And it's match point here as Mesa wanting to close this out. Now it's a serve to Doyle. Now to Kylie Smith, goes across to Montoya. That's going to go off the hands and down in the back for Glendale. Now it's 14-8, so Glendale not going away just yet. And Jasmine Smith the serve. Jasmine Smith always sending some hard serves across. Her and Tregaboff, La Liberty, maybe the two best servers on this team. And now Smith with the hard serve over, and Cone handles it. Now it's going to be set up there with the tip. That gets down, and that's going to do it. So Mesa sweeping the season series on Glendale. They win the fifth set 15-8, win the match 3-2, and that'll do it. So Glendale having a very tough time tonight. It seemed like Mesa dominated most of that game, and they really did. I think for Glendale, there was about 3 or 4 stretches where they played extremely good volleyball, and not to say they played poorly all match. The second set was definitely not great. They got it back towards the end of the second, and for Glendale, it's all about being consistent, and they put together about 3 or 4 stretches of great volleyball that you could even call national championship level, and they maybe that's too far, but definitely region championship level, and that pushed them to a couple set wins, but they were just unable to keep it consistent, and they ended up losing this match and drop a game in the standings. And for now, they've clinched the playoffs with Pima at 4-7, Scottsdale in Pima tonight, and so if Scottsdale does pick up the win, Pima's going to fall again and to 4-8. So Glendale definitely in a playoff spot here, but you want to chase that home court advantage. And I know talking to Lisa Stuck, she said it doesn't matter to her, and it really doesn't. You think about it, it's not, you're not traveling, cross state lines, you're staying in county. It's a 30-minute drive at max, and so that's not the tough part, but it's about stringing wins together and feeling confident about yourself, and unfortunately a chance to be confident, and a team they most likely will play in the first round at the regionals, as Mesa is now sole possession of the second seed, and for Glendale, 1 game ahead of South Mountain, a team they play this weekend on Friday, and we will bring that to you live from South Mountain. And so Glendale, unfortunately, unable to pick up the victory here tonight, but they, like I said, they're traveling to South Mountain, where the last time they faced an extremely hot team who was winning 5 in a row and picked up their 6th, but a team that has lost 5 of their last 7 conference games since defeating Glendale here at their home floor. So like I said, on Friday night it should be myself and Ethan Jordan bringing you the game from South Mountain. The start time is set for 7 p.m. And so this is my first road game of the year, and I'm definitely excited, and I'm excited to have you with us. So my name is Seth Ashleton. Thank you for joining us. Glendale drops to Mesa and gets swept in the season series. They lose 3-2. We'll see you on Friday night. Have a great rest of your week, everyone.